Good day friends and welcome to you all. I hope you are all well and healthy. Today we will be taking an in-depth look at my 1/400 scale Philippine ferry models. All these models being crafted are those ships special and memorable to me back when I was a kid. For those of you who are not into crafting, this is your time to bail out of this video. So let's get it on then. First ship we have is MV Tagbilaran Ferry. This ship used to ply Tagbilaran City to Cebu City and vice versa back in the 90s. This model is made out of illustration boards, cardstocks, and other materials. It is painted with acrylic paints. The cardstock and illustration boards are coated with cyanoacrylate or super glue. I know that my models are not 100% accurate since I am not a regular ship modeler. I am not an expert modeler, but I just love to make them on my vacant time. The next ship we have here is MV Sweetheart. This is the very first ship that I ever sailed with back in 1991 from Tagbilaran City to Cebu City. I made this with the same materials. I just used a black Sharpie marker for the black paint. The windows are hand-drawn with a Sharpie marker too. The life-saving equipments are made out of popsicle sticks. The booms in front are made out of wooden sticks. This ship was retired in 1992 and was scrapped. The next ship we have is the first MV Senior San Jose of light shipping. I sailed with this ship back in 1994 from Tagbilaran City to Cebu City and back. This is my second model of this ship. The other one is on a 1/220 scale. The same materials, this time it's all painted with acrylic paints. Windows and portholes are still hand-drawn. It has an articulated gangways in case I will display it on docking position. This ship was sold off to San Juan Shipping Lines and it was finally retired and scrapped during the late 90s. Next we have MV Zurich. I made this model just for practice purposes only. This is the very first 1/400 scale model that I've ever made. The same materials. I also used Sharpie markers again for the blue paint. It has articulated gangways. The next model we have is my favorite ship of all time. This is a model of MV Asia Taiwan. I sailed on this ship a couple of times in the 90s. This is also my second model of this ship. The other one is on 1/220 scale. I used the same materials and the same process in building it. It has articulated gangways and cargo ramps. This ship was eventually sold to Asian Marine Transport in the early 2000s and was renamed MV Super Shuttle Ferry 7. In 2014, she sank off Manila Bay during a storm. The next in line is MV Asia Thailand. I happened to sail on this ship back in 1999 from Tagbilaran City to Cebu City. I still remember it was on a Saturday 12 midnight. It was a side trip for this vessel since her regular route was Tagbilaran City to Cagayan de Oro City. I made this model with the same materials and the same process. It has articulated gangways and cargo ramps. This ship burned while at port in Cebu City back in the early 2000s. Next is another ship from Sweet Lines, MV Sweet Pride. She used to fly Tagbilaran City to Cagayan de Oro in the early 90s. My brother used to take me on board this ship while she's on port since it was still permitted back then. Still the same materials and process. It also has an articulated cargo ramp. This ship was sold off upon Sweet Line's closure. She was sold to Viva Shipping Lines and was renamed Viva Pinafrancia 5. A couple of years later, she was sold for scrap. Last model we have is MV Heaven Star of Roble Shipping. I didn't sail with this ship or even saw this as an active ferry. I remember seeing this ship anchored at the Mactan Channel in the late 2000s. I was amazed by her design, that's why I decided to build her for my collection. The same materials, the same process. This model doesn't have the company's logo yet. Maybe I will try to print one soon. By the way, all of the logos and name of the models are digitally drawn and printed using sticker papers. The gangway and cargo ramps are still articulated. This ship was scrapped back in 2011. All of these models were crafted during our community quarantine since I had plenty of time at home. Alright, so we have come to the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for the second episode of this ship model review series.
Música